It was 2:17 a.m. Raxon fell onto my counter, blood staining the table. They took the tower. Don't let the night stop. He died. The customers froze. My life changed forever. He gripped my hand tightly, his eyes sharp even as life faded. Don't let the night stop. Keep everything running. I could only stand in shock, realizing the burden of the Night King had shifted to my shoulders. Heavy rain drenched the city. I ran like lightning, keys in hand, blood on my apron. Terrified as I was, I knew I had to reach the tower before the night stopped turning. I stood amidst the ruins, shattered glass, bodies scattered, and alarms flashing red. Behind the painting, the safe lay open. Inside lay the keys to power, and the fate of the city tonight. The phone rang. I answered with trembling hands. "We await your orders, sir." I took a deep breath, trying to sound firm. "Move everything. Double the guards. No stops." The voice on the other end replied simply, "Understood, boss." From that second, the night machine ran under my name. The sun rose and the city kept moving. I stood on the balcony giving commands over the phone. Trucks moved, casinos opened on time, envelopes reached the right hands. I didn't understand everything, but the machine kept spinning, and they started calling me boss. At this table, wolves and foxes came to test me. Briggs stared sharply, ready to strike. The fox banker questioned with suspicion. I answered calmly, even as my heart raced. Raxon entrusted this to me. They knew the rules. If I was right, they would obey. If wrong, I would already be dead. From this day on, danger was my co-worker. It was 4:12 a.m. I lay exhausted on the sofa, clothes messy, one shoe off. Piles of work waited, but my eyes could no longer stay open. Beyond the glass, the city kept moving, and I had to stay awake even when my body begged for rest. In a secret room underground, I faced the mayor. Amidst city maps and thick files, we bargained for power. He needed calm. I needed access. "You learn fast," he said. "Yes, in this city, legitimacy is just another customer to be served." In the strategy room, glass walls covered in maps and red strings. We traced the attack pattern. Only my shipments were targeted. There was a traitor in my inner circle. Trust now felt like a fatal mistake. The traitor sat before me. Sell my own driver. He didn't deny it. The enemy's offer was too tempting. "You would have done the same," he said. "Maybe once, but not now." I signaled Brig. The look of disappointment on his face would haunt me longer than any blood ever could. At this table, there were two faces. One side, successful entrepreneur, a friendly face in magazines. The other side, cold ruler whose signature meant people's fates. Light split the room. Outside, they saw a reformer. Inside, I knew I was just the keeper of a machine that never sleeps. On the rooftop, under heaters and blind spots of cameras, I faced Mara. She didn't ask for mercy, only an equal position. "If I join you, I'll always be second." True, we negotiated settling at 35%. War is expensive, and ego never yields interest. From now on, we walked side by side, two kings who knew exactly how dangerous the other was. I stood frozen amidst the wreckage. Dust still filled the air, cries pierced the heart. Here, profit numbers meant nothing compared to the lives lost. For the first time, I wasn't thinking as a boss, but as a human realizing the true cost of a mistake. In the penthouse kitchen, a storm raged outside. I was furious, but she remained calm, sipping her coffee. "I sacrificed small assets so they wouldn't attack our core," Mara said. "I had the right to know. You were too busy feeling like you owned everything." I laughed bitterly. It was exactly what I would have done. We stayed together, but trust died right at this table. By year 5, you own less than the city thinks and control more than it knows. The night grew late. I sat alone, holding 3 phones at once. My face looked old and tired, my sharp suit feeling heavy. Outside, the city sparkled. But here, power felt like an endless administrative task. I had everything, yet it felt empty. The car drove slowly past the old alley. The noodle stall was still there, but no longer mine. Inside, 2 students laughed at 2:17 a.m. Almost 5 years after Raxon died on your counter, your secure line rings. Phones rang simultaneously. Outside, 3 black SUVs approached with their lights off. Briggs said there was movement. Mara texted one word, "Run." I grabbed my GN and passports. The same tools, but a different night. The city no longer needed me. I had 1 second to choose, before the doors opened. A long, silent corridor. Ahead of me, 2 doors, elevator and emergency stairs. I stood with my back to the empty safe, hearing footsteps approaching. The future was unwritten. I chose one door and let the city keep moving, without me.